All right, guys, so watch this for March 6th, which is going to be Monday. The SPY put in a pretty narrow range on Friday. Not too much action, and here we go with the watch list. This ROX was on bounce watch for us on Friday. It ended up closing at its highs, closing green. I'm going to watch for a continuation of this bounce on Monday. BIOS kind of trying to break out of this island down here. Big volume on Friday. Did close above its open, so I want to watch that for a potential move on Monday. ZSAN closing strong on Friday, and it's kind of in just a choppy mess here. You had the huge move, then you had the pullback on declining volume, and it's kind of chopping around sideways. So if you can get up, up around this $3 area, that might just head up to recent highs. So let's keep our eyes on ZSAN as well. MNST gapped up, closed below its open on Thursday, gapped down a bit, and then closed above even Thursday's open. So there's not a lot not a lot in the way for this thing to continue higher. Probably, I believe, earnings on Thursday is what popped it. I'm not positive though, but chart looks poised for another up day. We'll see. Only with a proper intraday setup. I'm just a day trader. Don't hold overnight. VRAY. Liked it coming into Friday. I love the gap up, but it never gave me an entry signal. And thankfully, right, because it ended up closing fairly weak. But it's in a range. It did have a weekday on Friday. Might be ready to turn back up on Monday. I want to watch that one all week. RNVA had a really nice pop. This was on our watch list on Friday. I'm going to show you real quick where Jane called it. Jane called it over this opening 5-minute candle at 207. She alerted it before. It was probably 202 or 203 when she alerted it. Plenty of time to get in at 207. Anywhere in that area, and even 210, whatever. The thing went to almost 330. A huge move. Excellent call by Jane. The reason I point that out is you see how it kind of flagged after that all day. I'm going to watch this again next week, I should say this week, all week. I don't know if it's extended, after 2 days of running. Huge volume, though. It's going to catch some attention, and definitely did a little bit of a short squeeze on Friday. Maybe that continues, okay? So definitely want to watch it all week. Great move on Friday. EYEG has really found support at the 8-day moving average and then starting to break back out to the upside. We'll see if that can continue on Monday. This one's kind of obscure. DELT, had the huge move back here, lower high, and it's just in a range. But it's got great support below. So if it can get up, I don't know. Friday's high was 148. Thursday's high was 153. I mean, I kind of need this to get through 150 on volume, and then it might break out of this kind of tight flag pattern to the upside. It's a lower float stock. I just want to keep it on watch. MBOT had the gap up, 3 days lower, secondary bounce, and really kind of flagging. So if you can kind of break above this little flag right here, it might get some momentum and maybe challenge the recent high. So notice that it only traded 83,000. So this thing has really went from almost 20 million this day, which was only what, like 7 sessions ago, something like that. I think 8. That is quite the fall off, right, in volume. Almost 20 million down to 83,000. But this one might get some upside momentum and then bring in some chasers. So it's a decent chart setup. I'm definitely going to watch it. MYOS goes on bounce watch. Had the huge pop here, huge pop here. Nice gap up and run the other day, but closed at its lows, and then another weekday on Friday. But volume, really died off. This one might be ready to turn back up on Monday. That's MYOS. And lastly, I have DVAX, gapped up, lower high, on declining volume. We'll see if this one can kind of stay up in this gap area back here instead of coming back down and filling this gap. We'll see, but it might be ready to turn back up. I think it's one of those nickel spreaders. So, be aware of that if you trade it. We'll also look for some gappers in the morning as well. I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll see everybody on Monday.